All right, make sure the sound is good. I was talking, but I think I was muted. Let me see if we back up now. Yeah, it should be coming back up. All right, make sure the sound is good. There it is right there. Bam. There it is right there. All right. Well, sorry for that delay. I was saying that I've had a great day today, or yesterday was a great day. I was pretty busy. Didn't get a chance to make the video like I normally would. So we're going to have a late night stream today. We're going to have a very late night stream today. I'll probably end up making 2 videos today because of the delay for you guys. So I definitely apologize for that. But this video, you clicked on it, you seen the thumbnail. We're going to talk about some crypto frauds. It's really a part 2 from yesterday because exposed Terra Luna and Do Kwon for doing what he did, taking people's money and funneling it into a political party, Sam Bankman-Fried style, right? Well, there's more frauds in the crypto space, and they're not being highlighted enough. So we're going to talk about that today. Make sure you guys hit that follow. This is YouTube. This is one of the last shows that you guys are going to see on that platform. You need to come on over here to Xeenon, and you're going to see that link into the description for you to follow the page. But when I've been listening to the crypto space all day today, it's been so much emotions. You guys are so emotional, man. It's ridiculous how emotional you guys are. You're losing your logic. You're not making any sense. In my opinion, you're not making any sense. So I'm about to make easy work of this topic today. We're going to talk about the commodities. We're going to talk about securities. We're going to listen to Gary Gensler himself, Double G. We're going to listen to Gary Gensler himself as he's getting bashed crazy right now. I might even become enemy number 1 myself for saying what I'm going to say in this video. But my man is 100% right with what he's talking about. True enough, there aren't any codified laws pertaining to digital assets that have been like stamped, put in place right now. But the existing framework for what a security is regarding specifically what he talks about, which is an investment contract, has been laid out. And the majority of these coins do fall in the category of an investment contract. All right. So just to get the video started, like I always do, this is the top 100. We see that it's pretty red throughout. Mass Network, Terra Classic, Luna right there. XDC, just some regular coins going on right now. The good stuff is my watch list. And in my watch list, we have Proton pumping this next for the 24 hours, about 10%. XDC, Metal Blockchain. So something must be happening here with Proton and Metal Blockchain. I'm definitely going to take a look at that. I may talk about it in the next video. Flare, Velo. Velo is a big deal, guys. DAG, DSO, Globient, some of my favorite coins there. Tailcoin plugin. Do not sleep on plugin this Oracle for XDC. All right. So now, to get started, we're talking about frauds, right? Robinhood said that they were trying to be registered for 16 months with the SEC. Now, did you guys know that at the end of 2020 that they got sued by the SEC and they settled and paid a fine for what they got sued for? Here, the SEC charges Robinhood Financial with misleading customers about revenue sources and failing to satisfy duty of best execution. Duty of best execution, guys, in short, is saying that they were not making the trades at the price that they should be making the trades at. And it explains here in this press release of what they were doing. So according to the SEC's order, between 2015 and 2018, Robinhood made misleading statements and omissions in customers' communications, including frequently asked questions pages on its website. So in the frequently asked questions page, these boys were putting false information. And it says this is what they were falsifying, about its largest revenue source when describing how it made money, namely payments from trading firms in exchange for Robinhood sending its customers orders to those firms for execution. So Robinhood was playing the middleman. The customer was giving the money to Robinhood, and Robinhood was going to an actual brokerage, whatnot, to make the trade for the customer. Customers had no idea this was going down. It tells us that the payments from trading firms in exchange on Robinhood sending its customers orders to those firms for execution is also known as payment for order flow. The SEC order finds that Robinhood's selling points to customers was that trading was commission free, but due to its large part and its unusual high payment for order flow rates, Robinhood customers' orders were executed at prices that were inferior to other brokers' prices. They were telling people that it is commission free. However, the people that were utilizing Robinhood to make these trades were paying a lot more than what they would have with a different institution, because they didn't tell nobody that they were just a middleman. All right. And this ended up costing customers $34 million. Here, it said Robinhood failed to seek to obtain the best reasonable available terms when executing customers' orders, causing customers to lose tens of millions of dollars. Today's action sends a clear message that the commission will not allow brokers to ignore their obligations to customers. This is sounding exactly how Double G is speaking right now about Coinbase. So now, let me go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown on what Gary Gensler be talking about. What he talks about is investment agreements are legal contracts between an investor and a company. The investor supplies funds with the intent of receiving a return. Okay, that is one of the things as far as the Howey test, right? Relying on an AP or a party to do work so that you can get a return on your investment after you gave it to them and their organization. Putting it into a nutshell, that's what an investment contract is, right? So it tells us again here, this is the SEC, and this is a framework for investment contract and analysis of digital assets. In its introduction, it says, in this guidance, we provide a framework for analyzing whether a digital asset has the characteristics of one particular type of security, which is an investment contract. So when he's saying that these digital assets are securities, he's saying that they have committed an investment contract with the suppliers of the funds. That's exactly what he's talking about. All right. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. What is a commodity? A commodity, we're going to use this second right here, this second explanation right here. It is a useful or valuable thing, such as water or time. When they are asking, does the digital asset have utility? If it has real world utility, then it will be deemed a commodity. As of right now, it is a security, and it can go from being a security to a commodity. Right now in America, they having a discussion of whether the SEC should be the overseer of digital assets or the CFTC, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, right? The CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading Commission. That's going to be the hope for digital assets that are not currencies, XRP, XLM, XDC potentially, right? Because they're working with trade finance. but they could be a commodity as well. But we'll see how that is laid out in the future. But Algorand is going to be a commodity. As of right now, it is a security until they deem its utility useful for the world, and then it will be considered a commodity. That's exactly what Ethereum is going to be. Ethereum is a security. We're going to find out with the Hemin documents, with the ICO, the initial coin offering, that Ethereum most likely failed the Howey test, right? And it is a security, but it was given a free pass. And it's going to continue to get a free pass because they're going to deem it a commodity because it provides real world use cases. Its smart contracts are pretty much the base layer for hundreds of cryptos or digital assets that are going to pass regulations. They're utilizing the Ethereum virtual machine. So it's going to be a commodity. I would suggest if you like to get into Ethereum, that'll probably be a safe bet, and it will be a big deal in the future. As you've seen on my thumbnail, I talked about Vitalik Buterin and his SBTs. That's going to be at the end of this broadcast. But so you guys know and understand, Vitalik Buterin is in-house. Gary, or Double G, Gary Gensler, his twin brother, allegedly, now I'm putting these up, allegedly, don't know for sure, but he was a part of that ICO in the very beginning. So no wonder the SEC isn't trying to go at Ethereum. They're always getting that pass because these boys are in-house. Now, let's talk about Coinbase. Instead of me talking about Coinbase, let me give you guys, this is Reggie Middleton, and he has an entire YouTube page, and it's extremely informational. If you guys want to know what's going on with the technology, with DeFi, stable coins, with validators, with staking, he is the father of it. It was his technology and his patents that are being utilized by the entire crypto space, and his intellectual property is being stolen, which is pretty typical for what we see regarding Black history, American Black men, women in America, and their inventions being stolen. You're looking at the man right here who is the reason why you guys are in crypto. It's his mind, it's his creation, and everything that's going on that's making us plenty of money, and that will continue to make us plenty of money. You have this man to thank. But let's figure out what he's talking about, because he makes it very plain about MakerDAO, Coinbase, Circle, USDC. And this is just one of his videos that you guys should be checking out. But I'm going to let him talk for maybe a couple of minutes or so. And then we're going to go listen to Gary Gensler. And I'm going to break down what he actually said and how he was spot on about what he was saying and why he's going at Coinbase. And there's going to be some other people in the future that's going to get that work. Gary Gensler is about to bring that Thor's hammer and start smacking down stuff, man. And y'all might want to leave that guy alone. I'm just saying that. I'm just joking or whatever the case. But he definitely has a case for what he's talking about. But for right now, let's listen to Reggie Middleton and what he has to say. You guys are going to be extremely blessed by this information. Check it out.
Okay, I've discussed this throughout the year, and we now see tangible evidence of a bursting IP bubble. So now I'm going to discuss MakerDAO and Coinbase. Okay, MakerDAO, Coinbase, and Circle, actually. I'm sorry, MakerDAO, Coinbase, and USDC. We have issued a 117-page report on Coinbase showing significant risks that are just not discussed in the media or the sell-side analyst reports given by the big Wall Street banks. And we also, Veritasium Capital, filed suit against Coinbase for patent infringement. Claims table of about 117 pages or so. Significant. Now, our research shows that Coinbase is infringing, or roughly 90% plus of Coinbase revenues are derived from infringing activities. That's our research.
He said that Coinbase's revenue, roughly 90%, is coming from his brain. The reason that they are so popular right now, they're making so much money, is by utilizing his invention, and they have not licensed, asked, or done anything. And we know as of right now that they have been sued since 2022 by Veritasium, his company that represents him, and they have not attempted to answer. Something should have already happened by now if they haven't replied to somebody trying to sue them right now. But we're going to continue to go forward.
Okay, our research opinion, not necessarily adjudicated fact, but that's what we found. Coinbase is a member of MakerDAO. MakerDAO was actually sued by an entity called True Return Systems, which claims that they're infringing on their patent. Okay, Coinbase submitted a proposal to MakerDAO as a MakerDAO member. MakerDAO voted to approve that proposal to transfer $1.6 billion of USDC to Coinbase. Okay, this is done even though Coinbase has a patent infringement suit pending. Okay, I think it's quite a legitimate suit, but one of our entities are involved in the suit just for, transparency. In addition, USDC, in our research opinion, infringes on multiple patents of the Veritasium 566 patent, US 566, and also the Japan 477 patent. This is pretty clear cut. For instance, in the news a week or two ago, or a couple of months ago, it was noted that Coinbase, or Center, which is the association of which Coinbase and Circle are the founding members, froze the USDC of 38 addresses due to sanctions coming from the Tornado Cash addresses that were sanctioned coming from the Tornado Cash sanction. The Tornado Cash is the smart contract mixer, or the token mixer. The smart contract itself was sanctioned as software. Unprecedented.
Tornado Cash, that smart contract was able to hide where your funds were going after it goes into Tornado Cash's protocol. And he's saying that was sanctioned in particular. And guys, again, I appreciate you staying as long as you have. You may want to stay to the end because I'm going to really get at Vitalik Buterin and what he's doing. And it's extremely sickening what he has and what he's created that nobody's talking about. We're always focused on all the things that the media tells us, but you need to be focused on things that I'm about to show you. I'm trying to put this away so we know that, hey, let the SEC do what they're going to do. They're putting the regulations in place. If the CFTC comes in, great. They're putting regulations in place, and these are going to be the type of actions that's going to make the right cryptocurrencies get adopted by the world, and all of the world's money is going to flow into these digital assets. All right. But again, press that follow, share, do what you got to do, guys. But let's go forward and continue.
I'm not going to comment on it, but I don't think I'm necessarily a fan of it. But it is what it is. They don't necessarily listen to me. But the fact that Center was able to freeze the USDC and those addresses meant that, or shows that they use data system that infringes on the 577, the 566 and the 477 patent. Go through the @Reggie Middleton and @Veritasium Inc. Twitter feeds, the tweets from today, and you'll see evidence of such. Okay, so let's add this together. We allege that Coinbase is infringing heavily on patented technology. We are alleging that USDC infringes, okay, not necessarily an entity, but USDC infringes on patented technology. Someone else, True Return Systems, is alleging that MakerDAO infringes on their patented technology. Despite all this, Coinbase, as an influential member of the MakerDAO, has convinced MakerDAO to transfer $1.6 billion of USDC from a decentralized or allegedly decentralized DAO to a fully centralized entity, Coinbase Prime. Now let's think about this for a minute. The whole purpose of minting DAI and using DAI is for its decentralized attributes. Okay? So, if you're a big believer in decentralization and you are concerned about centralization, why would you take such a large chunk of the reserve assets, which have a centralized component in and of themselves, the ability to be frozen, and put it into a centralized entity? Well, here's a couple of reasons why you shouldn't do that.
Check them out.
Coinbase alludes that they're going to put this USDC in cold storage, which I don't disbelieve them. I'm sure they would. That would help secure against hackers. But hackers aren't the biggest risk. The biggest risk are creditors. Okay? Coinbase has economically lost money every quarter they reported in where Bitcoin has not increased in price. They're unprofitable, significantly so. And MakerDAO, as a decentralized entity, is using Coinbase as a centralized bank. A. B. Coinbase is invariably taking risk with these USDC. How do I know? Because they're offering a return. They're offering a yield. They're calling it a rewards program. Cute, but it's not a credit card, right? It's a yield program. The rewards are measured in APY, annualized percentage yield. Okay, that yield comes from somewhere, and that comes from risk-taking activity. So,
All right. So what he just told you was the same thing Gary Gensler is going to say, which is these exchanges are playing multiple roles. They're wearing multiple hats. And in traditional finance, if you are an exchange, you are an exchange, but you're not a hedge fund manager. You're not a bank that provides an APY on the money that is being held as storage there. Coinbase is doing all of these things. If they wanted to do those things, then they need to have each and every service that they're providing to be registered with the SEC and have let me say it like this. Every type of service that they offer needs to be disclosed to the customers, and it needs to be registered by the SEC. If it's not doing that, then they're doing something wrong. All right. And Double G is telling us that these entities, these institutions have not done what they're supposed to do, and don't believe them when they tell you that they have, because they've had ample opportunity to do it. Coinbase has been around since 2012. If they haven't been registered right now, then it's probably because they didn't try hard enough to get the job done.
So, yes, MakerDAO is storing a large amount of USDC, and they're storing that large amount of USDC without return. But the reason is because they're not taking investment risk with it. The reason why Coinbase is offering investment risk, investment yield as an APY, is because they will be taking investment risk, right? Risk is the price of reward. So I can understand why Coinbase would want to, why MakerDAO would want a return on their static assets. Perfectly understandable. But centralized entity. So Coinbase puts it, the USDC into cold storage. Okay, the transfer of USDC into cold storage invariably and likely infringes on the patent. Okay, the 566 patent. In addition, right? In addition, you are now exposed to Coinbase's credit risk and counterparty risk, where you had no credit and counterparty risk before. That is the entire point of using smart contracts in DeFi. Remember, I'm the guy who alleges he created DeFi, or at least advanced DeFi. My entire mindset was to avoid the counterparty and credit risk of Coinbase. They're going exactly against, they're going in direct contravention to the tenets that I had in mind when I created this stuff. Here's why I created it with these tenets in mind. Because now that $1.6 billion is available to creditors. One of those creditors could be Veritaseum Assets, who is suing Coinbase, right, for patent infringement. Okay, and it is a significant amount, very significant amount. And anybody else who sues Coinbase. Now, are those assets segregated, that $1.6 billion? Don't say yes because they're put in a cold storage. Because
Wow.
the Coinbase model, as I understand it, is you transfer the $1.6 billion from your cold wallet, presumably cold wallet of MakerDAO,
Right.
into a cold wallet, into a hot wallet of Coinbase, and then into Coinbase's cold wallet vault using their MPC or whatever methodologies that they use.
Right.
It is secured against hackers.
Yeah.
Right. But it is now wide open to creditors. Okay, of which patent owners who are looking to protect their patent rights and any other potential plaintiffs or creditors of Coinbase, and there are quite a few, will have access to. How do I know they'll have access to it? Because Coinbase's CEO said it himself after being
Brian Armstrong
urged to by the SEC. They said specifically, not specifically, I can't quote it, but they said that the customers of Coinbase will be treated as unsecured creditors in the event of a bankruptcy.
Yep. All right. So now let me show you that. It tells you right here exactly what he just said was Coinbase says users' crypto assets lack bankruptcy protections. So this is what he's speaking on. The cryptocurrency trading firm warns its customers could be viewed as general unsecured creditors. This is exactly what he just said. All right. Now, Coinbase is looking very sketchy. They're looking very, very sketchy. All right. Stay with me. I'm telling you guys are going to learn so much here with this broadcast, with the broadcast that I do. I do not do shows like everybody else does. I go look at things as they are. No emotions involved, extremely logical and being analytical. You guys are going to learn way more here than what you will at other shows. Not trying to knock those other shows, but I am trying to edify what I do because I really enjoy learning. I really enjoy sharing this stuff and getting you guys to understand what's truly going on in this space so that you aren't left behind. The goal here is to avoid universal basic income, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, now let's listen to Double G. This is from, what did it say, 2 days ago, right? I'm sure you guys heard bits and pieces of it, but we're going to break this thing down. Check this out.
Look, I think there's been clarity for years. The investing public has the benefit of the U.S. securities laws. Crypto should be no different.
We talking about cash.
Come on now.
Not a game.
We talking about cash back.
We talking.
All right, so he said that he believes that all the rules are already in place and they should have been known this stuff. That's what he said so far.
These platforms, these intermediaries need to come into compliance and protect the investing public.
Which of the
Coinbase, by putting creditors, by putting our assets in jeopardy, by saying that if they go bankrupt, and we see that they are, according to Reggie Middleton, that they are not profitable. Anytime Bitcoin goes down, they are not profitable whatsoever. They can use your money as liquidity to pay off a bankruptcy. Are they telling people that? They didn't tell you that back in 2012. They just found out about this stuff recently, which was 2022. That's one of the reasons why Gary Gensler is going at Coinbase. They're not disclosing properly to the customers, just like Robinhood. All right, here we go.
the cases we're talking about, do you want to take them one by one? Which is more important in your view?
You're leading this interview. I'm going to follow you where you are, but let me just say this to the investing public.
Okay.
These trading platforms, they call themselves exchanges, are commingling a number of functions, which in traditional finance, we don't see the New York Stock Exchange also operating a hedge fund, making markets, and as we alleged in Binance, having a sister organization, flooding
Binance.us.
the platform with transactions called wash trading, and the lack of controls on the platforms is really a web of deception and conflicts, along with
A web of deception. I'm sorry, a web of deception and conflicts. Those are conflicts of interest. Let's take a look at this. As of March of this year, Coinbase buys a crypto hedge fund, setting its sights on institutional clients. I thought you were an exchange. Now you have a crypto hedge fund. Now, what if that crypto hedge fund has a few digital assets that it's already invested in, and now Coinbase has a reason for those assets to be manipulated and gain value, and now they benefit from that? Very possible. That's a conflict of interest. That's fraudulent. And they're not telling the customers what the assets that crypto hedge fund has. Do they have it on their website? Did they tell people on Coinbase.com that, hey, this is the hedge fund that we just acquired? They're not doing that. They're not disclosing anything. So again, chalk that up for Gary Gensler. He's not off. He's 100% right.
a control person, Mr. Zhao, trying to evade U.S. law.
And given the timeline we're talking about, what do you say to...
Now, when they say, talking about Binance trying to avoid U.S. law, I have to go to something that I know was trying to avoid U.S. law. Just recently, there's a blockchain that came out where they were talking about a sacrifice phase, the largest airdrop in American or in world history, donations to freedom of speech organizations, right? That would be right. Where is it at? Boom, boom, boom. Here. That will be post chain. All right. He had a lot of different wording to try to avoid U.S. law. Now, would post chain be considered? Where is it at? Boom. Skepticism and labels. Would post chain be considered an investment contract? Are people banking on the efforts of Richard Hart for their success? Are they believing that post chain is going to be good because Richard Hart is going to make it pop? I believe they are. I believe they're investing into post chain because they're expecting a large return. Okay. That would be an investment contract, which makes it a security. Now, it could be a commodity if it provided a real world utility. If it doesn't provide a real world utility, then it is a security. Now, the question is, did he ever plan on it being a commodity? Did he ever plan on it having real utility? Or was he just trying to get a bunch of people rich? Can't be mad at that, right? He just utilized the how money works, minting coins, minting dollars or whatever the case, and he's giving it out freely. So you can't be mad at him for doing that. However, it still would be a security. Now, the skepticism and labels that was given to that sacrifice phase speaks on this. Unveiling the Ponzi scheme debate, social media platforms have witnessed a growing chorus of skeptics labeling post-chain as a glaring Ponzi scheme. Detractors draw parallels between the project's sacrifice phase and an initial coin offering, suggesting that investors may have sacrificed their coins with hopes of future returns, which is 100% correct. While post-chain may hold promise, critics caution against large sums of money sacrificed and the destination of these funds. As of right now, people got their stuff back, so he kept his word. You got your duplicates, right? You have your P-Hex, E-Hex, and all this other kind of stuff is still there. So he gave you his word. He did that how he's supposed to do. However, Is it a Ponzi scheme potentially? Is it fraudulent? Quite possibly it could be seen as such, because a Ponzi scheme is fraud. Back to Double G. Here we go. Listen up.
Use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now.
All right. So we're going to stop there. The beauty about XRP is that it is a bridge currency. It allows you to transfer from one to the other. It's a bridge currency. All right. Now, he just said that there are already digital currencies out there right now, which are the currencies for each country. You don't have to get rid of those according to him. So how do you keep your currencies? There is one project that I know of right now that has stable coins on top of it from different countries. That would be Cello. As you look at Cello here, Cello has, they must have changed it off. There it is right there. Boom. All right. So it says Cello is a carbon negative, permissionless layer 1 blockchain with the rich ecosystem of global partners building an innovative Web3 dApps to support a more inclusive financial system. Accessible to anyone with a mobile phone, Cello ecosystem consists of a decentralized proof-of-stake blockchain technology stack, Cello governance asset, which is the Cello coin itself, and several Minto stable assets. As of right now, you have the CUSD, you have the CEUR, which is the euro, and you have the C Real, which is the Brazilian real. They have currencies on top of Cello. So when he says there are already digital currencies out here, this is what he's speaking on. Now, there is a commodity called Cello. Right now, it's a security, but it's going to be deemed a commodity because it provides a real world utility. This is on Ethereum, and it is an EVM compatible layer 1. So Ethereum is going to be a commodity because other commodities are on top of Ethereum. So Ethereum is going to be a high valued asset. Now, let's look at Cello really quick, and then we're going to get at Vitalik Buterin, because what he's done is something that Cello is utilizing, and it's pretty sick. It's pretty sickening, guys. But if we don't have any emotion in this thing, we're being logical and analytical, we are going to be investing into Cello for what it's going to become in the future. So payment startup Cello raises 20 million from Andreessen Horowitz Electric Capital. This is back in 2021, right? Also, it has Polychain Capital, Reid Hoffman, Jack Dorsey, Coinbase Ventures, among others. That is a 65 million high profile industry backers, right? So Cello is backed by some of the biggest venture capitalists and some billionaires out there that believe in this technology. All right. Now, soulbound tokens. Now we're getting to Vitalik Buterin. That's what SBT stands for. They're soulbound tokens. They power new identity solution on the Cello blockchain. Go. All right. My apologies. Reading the article. A central focus for many Web3 communities has been improving identity solutions. That's what they're doing with these AI, right? Last year, the emergence of soulbound tokens introduced a new way for users to define themselves. Although SBT hype quieted over the last months, they have not disappeared off the scene. The SBT protocol, Massive Finance, announced it will deploy on a carbon negative Cello blockchain to create a new digital identity solution. Now, here it says Japan's Sumitomo Mitsui to issue soulbound tokens to explore Web3. All right, so that is another. Mitsui Financial Group is experimenting with soulbound tokens. The Japanese financial group They're looking to issue soulbound tokens, which was proposed by Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin. SBTs refer to digital identity tokens that represent the characteristics or reputation of a person or identity or a soul. Such tokens are non-transferable and are designed for the decentralized society in Web3. Here, let's read all about soulbound tokens. I got it pulled up over here. So this is a soulbound token is the NFT 2.0. How soulbound tokens could change society as we know it. This is back from 2022. So this stuff is rolling out slowly, but it's going to be here sooner than you know it. Have you guys heard about China with the social credit scores? Have you guys heard about COVID passports? We're getting into something now. All right. Here, Vitalik Buterin, best known as co-founders of Ethereum, has a massive new Web3 project in the works. In a white paper entitled Decentralized Society, Finding Web3 Soul. Buterin and his fellow authors detail their vision for a fully decentralized society and how we could make it a reality. Their answer is that we will need to create something called soulbound tokens. The essence of soulbound tokens are non-transferable identity and reputation tokens. They allow individuals to verify all their information, their education, their work history, credit score, medical history, professional certifications, etc., using blockchain technologies. So this is going to be the all-in-one identity for individuals in the world. Eye scans. This is just getting started. All right. It's just getting started. Vitalik Buterin, who brought forth smart contracts for cryptocurrencies, is now being utilized to bring forth digital identity in a way that has never been done before. And he's calling it a Web3 soul, S-O-U-L, your soul. All right. Some argue that SBTs are a more streamlined and trustworthy way of verifying information. Others compare it to China's authoritarian social credit system, which vision is more accurate, right? All right, so now what I want to do is read this really quick, and then we're going to go down to one more piece of this article, and that will be the conclusion of this video. But I want to show you guys frauds, crypto frauds. That's why I'm talking to you about this. Vitalik Buterin talks different, right? Like Sam Bankman-Fried talked different, but he was a criminal mastermind. Does Vitalik Buterin really talk the way that he talks? Is that really how he sounds? We know Michael Jackson had a completely different voice when he wasn't in front of the cameras and such. Talked completely different. Maybe, quite maybe, Vitalik Buterin is on some other stuff. All right, but that's allegedly. That's just my tin hat that I put on. I'm taking it off right now. All right. Now, the concept behind soulbound tokens seemingly comes from the game World of Warcraft, which also inspired Buterin, who derived the name from his beloved Ethereum blockchain from the franchise. In World of Warcraft, soulbound is a property of an item that prevents it from being traded or mailed to another character. With this in mind, it's easy to see where both the name and idea of SBTs come from. Sure. All right, so how do they work? What happens if you lose your soul? That's all a part of this article. But let's take a look at this. Social recovery models in Web3. Individuals are called guardians, and you can change your signing key. So you can have individuals have that key, or you can have different communities that have access to that key. Similar to Ledger, what Ledger's doing. All right. What are the use cases for soulbound tokens? You have academics or your education, identity verification. your criminal history, your credit verification, your awards, certificates, things that you've accomplished in your life, your medical history, and exclusive memberships. All of that can be into one NFT. Here with the rest of the article, it talks about those a little bit, but what are the drawbacks of SBTs? We're going to read this, and then that's going to be the end of this video, man. I thank you guys for staying as long as you have. Make sure that you guys are hitting that like and hitting that follow if you're over here on Xeenon. All right, so in addition to the ability of SBTs to represent our personal info and make it difficult for scammers to impersonate us, these tokens have other utilities. They could be used for even ticketing, exclusive airdrops, and other benefits aimed at members of a specific community. So they're talking about this can be your wallet as well. In addition to representing our personal info and making it difficult for scammers to impersonate tokens and get those other utilities, they could be used for even ticketing, exclusive airdrops, which are we call soul drops. And for other benefits, they are aimed at member and specific communities. Did I just read that, or do they got it up there twice? They do got that up there twice. That's crazy. All right. Now it says SBTs can be used used by bad actors to identify, target, and harm members of a specific community. Similar to like what the Trump supporters, they call them all the same thing. And if you have who you voted for in your digital identity, you could be targeted badly, right? So it could be utilized for bad. The potential when it comes to governing bodies is particularly alarming. For example, holders of a specific SBT could be denied entrance to facilities, denied medical care, refused travel permits, have their voting rights revoked, and more, all through this NFT. So who's going to have access to your soul? That's really what's happening here. Vitalik Buterin has created a technology that puts your soul on it, and then somebody else will have access to have control over your soul. All right, I'm trying to get you guys to see how sick this really is. The authors acknowledge this dystopian potential in the paper, writing that a database of SBTs could provide a way to automate redlining of disfavored social groups and even target them for cyber and physical attacks, enforce restrictive migration policies, or make predatory loans. This is one of the reasons why authors note that users must have a way to discard or hide their SBTs if needed. When will they be available? They should have been here by the end of 2022. So we are in the midway of 2023. It's going to be here in no time. All right, guys. So I want to show you some different ways of looking at crypto frauds. There's a lot of different ways that you can be a fraud here in crypto. You can be Do Kwon type of fraud, Sam Bankman type of fraud, a Vitalik Buterin type of fraud, to where you think that he's just a good guy, a nice guy, but behind the scenes, he's creating technologies like this that's trying to harvest your soul, some real soul-bound tokens, crazy stuff from World of Warcraft, allegedly World of Warcraft, where he got it from. All right, trying to keep him innocent, like Sam Bankman-Fried, like he's just a child and he doesn't know really what he's doing the same thing, the same game playing with Vitalik Buterin, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. We looked at Coinbase being fraudulent. They're infringing on patents. They aren't telling customers and disclosing everything they're supposed to be doing. We looked at Robinhood as well, claiming that they're trying to do right. However, they were doing wrong back from 2015 to 2018. And I brought you some post-chain information, letting you guys know that that is a security, and he did everything he possibly could to get around U.S. laws, as Gary Gensler was talking about already. There are going to be coins that are deemed securities. The hope that the community, that the crypto space should be looking for is that crypto asset, that digital asset that they are invested in, will it become a commodity? Polygon Matic, with all those different companies on top of it, will probably be a commodity. These metaverse gaming coins, in my opinion, since they will have marketplaces on them, and then they'll have a bunch of different metaverses through the Apple Pro Vision goggles or whatever, they're probably going to be commodities. XRP, XLM, they're going to be currencies. I hope you guys are understanding the ideology that I'm giving you, the understanding, and I want you just to relax, stop being so emotional, and just allow the crypto space to, and all the chips to fall as they may. It's already been decided what's going to happen. And if you don't see it yet, you will see it very soon. But until then, make sure you come back here on this page. This is Dig Deep Crypto, OAB. This is OAB live streaming over here on Xeenon. Make sure you guys give me a follow, share everything. And I appreciate you guys being here, staying this long. The fact that you stayed this long, that means that you're searching for something, and it's going to be great when you find it, man. And you have my blessings and my hopes and everything that you do find it sooner than later. I appreciate you. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.